Hi, good morning, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my new vlog. Okay, welcome back to this view. I hope you missed the view, and do tell me on the sound quality that is pulling into the mic today. Okay, so we are on our way to this place called Vesrah. We have got Ram on the BSS 650, you could see now. No, not now, there. So we are going to Vesrah. We're going to just, it's a small ride around the city. But today there is something very interesting we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 1 year anniversary of my motorcycle. I would like to go down through the rundown of what all I've done to this motorcycle for me to be able to express my love and joy for what it looks right now. The Interceptor is one of the motorcycles that Royal Enfield provided to us to have a parallel with. This is a 648cc motor which has very good power and torque figures. Let's go to the figures a little later because again, as the story continues, it's a long ass story. Okay, so be sure to grab up some popcorn and get ready for this beauty of the story. So here's a picture of this motorcycle when I got it on the 28th of August 2024. So this motorcycle is a 2019 Interceptor in Orange Crush, and you might be guessing, you're like, okay, this is not what it actually looks like right now. So I will go through my 1 year ownership review with this motorcycle at 22,000 kilometers done by me in the past 1 year. Okay, let's start with the aesthetics first, and continuing to that we will go through our hardware modifications as well as our power and tune setup that we are running right now. Okay, so yes, let's go with aesthetics. Now coming to the aesthetic point of view, you've seen my last video, you'll be like, what are you riding right now? Because the last video I showed you an orange bike and this looks like a black bike. So yeah, so we partnered up with this company called Devil's Custom. These are based out of Gurgaon. So they made me a 3-piece tank cover for this motorcycle, which they painted it in what is black. So it's a slap-on cover because again, I could change the tank. That would cost me I think 16,000-ish. This is 5,000 bucks, 5,025 to be very accurate. You remember our clip-on story, all of that shot, how we changed this to the Interceptors to this setup. So if you have not seen that video, I'll give you a small brief. These are from the R15 V3. They are straight flip clip-ons. You just need to extend them a little bit so that your bar end gets fit in properly. So you guys would have known from, if you had watched my last video, that we had decided to do a complete change in body style and riding triangle compared to last time. So this time we have done a different setup. So I'm running the GT foot pegs. These are OEM from the GT650. I'm running a custom clip-on set that I just mentioned in the motor vlog before. And what makes it all tied together is this seat that is from a GT535, the older one, the one which came with the single cylinder motors. So that is a little bit hacked up onto. I've done a custom stitching on the seat and it is wrapped in vinyl black. So here's it. So this is what I was talking about. So let's go on to our aesthetic modifications back again. So this motorcycle came with silver wheels, silver mudguards, full handlebar that was in chrome, and orange tank to start with. So right now we have got the OEM 2023 style GT black wheels. So we have got the alloys in black as well as the hubs, both front and rear. We had also done the mudguards in black. So we had the front mudguard done in black as well as the rear mudguard that is done in black. So this is not spray paint anything. This is OEM proper mudguard. We later decided to change the front mudguard of the Interceptor to a product that RLZ Carbon makes. So it is a full carbon fiber mudguard that we have installed on this motorcycle. Following to that, let's start talking about a few other aesthetic modifications that we have done. So we also have the 17. 17 is a very important number for me because I have been running, when I used to do track on my KTMs and all, that was my track number, and hence it has to stay on the motorcycle. So yeah, coming back to the motorcycle, this is what we did. Okay, the first thing that we did after that was when we took for the ride, we went to Chikmagalur, and with the stock headlamp and stock everything, that's when I understood that the visibility on this motorcycle is zero. So when I say zero, it's like absolute zero. So first thing that I came back and I did was I got the HJG mini drives on motorcycle, followed up by a minus HJG headlight. But we later changed the setup because the HJG were not providing a lot of highway throw. Following to that, we also did LED indicators from Sump. We also have a stock 411 scram tail light that we have installed on the motorcycle. So we later shifted to this setup suggested by a lot of members from our TBR group. Shout out to all of those people who know what I'm talking about. So we have got the Mad Dog Scout X LED fog light setup. So it's the full wiring harness with the Pro switch that is all installed on this motorcycle. So that has resolved my main lighting concerns, because now I can see the road. It is much visible to me outside in the thing, and it makes a lot of sense having this kind of fog light. Even though it spoils the look of the cafe racer, it is more practical than it looks. We also have got the light covers, because in the city, if you're riding the motorcycle, you face a lot of issues with the police these days not acknowledging the exhaust that is on the bike, which we will come to the point. So we do get these caps that Mad Dog itself sells. So these cover up the fog lights, and since they are lower than the headlight and covered up, the police do not seem to have any issues with it until and unless we are using them in the city. So going through the next part of our progress, this is the suspension. The suspension of this motorcycle I never found aspiring. I never found the suspension to be very capable for my riding style, and I had to do something to change it up a little bit. So here's what I've done. It is not a complete project, but this is what I could do in the past year. So what I've done is I've taken the whole front suspension apart. We have replaced the springs with OEM springs from Royal Enfield. But what we have done this time is we have put in a higher grade of oil. This is a Kilo 15W oil. You'll be seeing a picture on that. So we have used that oil with the suspension fork size. And the only other thing that we have done is we have added a preload adjuster. So this preload adjuster allows me to add preload to the suspension, because the front suspension was not adjustable from preload. The rear suspension is made of preload. We are using the same oil in the reservoir right here, so it is a little stiffer setup compared to the stock. But what I really find interesting is this has got preload settings, but even though it's got the lowest and the highest setting, it doesn't make a huge difference. So that is there. That is something that I have to do work on. Right, the next topic that we have to talk about is the braking of the motorcycle. The thing that I'm most concerned of, with a fast motorcycle like this 650 here, is the braking. So as much as confidence you feel accelerating towards a certain speed, it's the same amount of confidence you need to come back to zero. And this is what I have done for my braking setup. We have taken the suggestions from, again, our TBR group. Shout out to Tyre and Pawan, who helped me choose the right product for this. So we have got the RCB 17mm master cylinder installed on the motorcycle. Following to that, we also have steel braided lines from the factory itself. So we are just running a crank 1 sintered ceramic brake pad. The disc is Brembo from OEM, so we have not touched any of that disc. We're just riding a .5 fluid with the RCB 17mm master cylinder with a crank 1 brake pad. Following the same setup to the rear, so rear is a funny story. So this is the same disc size as the Classic Reborn, the new 2022-2023 style Classic Reborn. So we are using those brake pads here, and they work pretty well for my use case, because I am a more biased front braker than compared to, I'm like a 90-10% braker for the front and rear. So I have not faced any problem with this current setup. A lot of people tell me, okay, you might ruin your disc because of this, but at the end of the day, a brake pad of the rear costs around 2,200 rupees, I guess, and the disc itself costs 2,000 rupees. So I am willing to take that risk. Okay, next thing we need to talk about are the hardware mods on this motorcycle. We have done a lot of hardware mods compared to what the motorcycle was offering. So I'm going to go through one by one every setup for me to explain it to you on what importance am I giving this to the product. So let's start with the process, how the engine works. So what we have done right now is we are running an open air filter. We have a way to speed open air filter on the motorcycle. So this is a two-piece setup that we get, the air filter and the cover. So this cover is hollow. I'll show you a photo right now. This is how the cover is. So because of that, what happens is the inlet of air is very well done compared to other motorcycles. So how the motorcycle is able to breathe, it's like you're allowing the motorcycle to breathe a lot better. And this makes a huge difference, because the amount of air going into the engine is significantly important for a good power motor. So the next thing, when the air travels to the engine, the next thing that we have is the spark plugs. So we have not saved any money here. What we have done is we have spent that 5,000 rupees, got an NGK full race kit for the motorcycle. So you can see the red coupler and the red wiring there. It is connected to the ignition coils of the motorcycle, and following to that, the whole engine bay, I mean the engine head and all, we had this small issue in which I blew up my head of the motorcycle. And the company, you can see the logo on my front shock, the Monkey Autograph. These are the guys who helped me rebuild my engine. We did a full top half engine rebuild. So it got all the heads, the cylinder rings, piston rings. We got all 8 valves changed and the timings reset. So with all of that and gaskets, of course, we have done a full top half repair kit, or you can say as a rebuild kit. So those motorcycles that that is how we did that. So secondly, let me finish the mod setup. I'll come to the tuning part just in a minute. So we also have the full system exhaust from Powerage. Powerage is a company based out of Chennai. I really like the quality of this product. I have never faced any issue. I would suggest this to anyone who is wanting a mild, loud setup for the city. They can ride this in the city without dB killers. It's okay, it's a full system, but still it is very, very smooth and refined for the motorcycle, and this is one of my most preferred exhausts for the 650. There are other slip-ons on the market such as Red Rooster, Motor Torque and all. I have tried the Red Rooster. Previously I had the Barrel Atom on the motorcycle, and I have also tried the Motor Torque exhaust, but trust me when I say this Powerage is a different exhaust compared to all of them. It is not loud compared to the RRPs and all, but what makes this better is it is more city drivable friendly, and also the cops can give you a let go. So that was the mods that we have done compared to a normal Interceptor. Let's also just brush up a few other mods that I have done. I've just added a phone holder. I've added a cruise control module from this company called Easy Cruise. They are based out of Kalyan Nagar. So this is nothing but a throttle lock. So it just locks your throttle based on that RPM. And usually what I do is when I lock it on the 100 km/h speed limit, according to what my speedometer says, it goes up till 120s on downhills and up to 80 on uphills, and that is perfectly balanced, and I have been attaining a very good fuel economy. So let us also discuss the tuning potential and the tuner story that I have for this motorcycle, which is very long awaited. So when I got the full system exhaust, a lot of people told me my AFR would be affected and I would require a fuel corrector. So the Fuel X was the device that was highly suggested to me, especially the Fuel X Pro Plus. That was highly suggested to me by a lot of people in the community. And I thought, okay, so since it costed 12,500, I'm like, okay, it is worth a shot. Let's take that risk. So we took that risk. I'm going to brush up about something that is not very spoken well of in the community, and this is completely my opinion. I'm not given money to promote any products. But here's my honest review on what we have dealt with in the past 1 year with this motorcycle. So when I got the full system Powerage exhaust system, a lot of people suggested me that since the bike has a full system now, the bike tends to run lean. That was causing a lot, I won't say a lot, it was causing minimal heating issues that I noticed on the motorcycle, which was a little concerning because that motorcycle has not seen that kind of heat according to what I felt. So we did check the oil, we did check another oil in and outs to see if it was actually a heating issue or what was going on, and then a lot of people told me because it is running a lot leaner, it is causing those heat cycles to increase their lifetime. So here's what I did. A lot of suggestions people told me to get a fuel corrector. So I decided to pick up the Fuel X Pro Plus from Racedynamics based out of Kormangla. So this is nothing but, it's a fuel corrector that has 10 different modes on the motorcycle. So it attaches somewhere down the street, it just sits there peacefully, and it attaches to the O2 sensor. What it does is it takes the reading from the O2 sensor and gives a tricked out reading to the ECU saying the bike is not getting good amount of fuel, it is running very lean, which it is not. It is just tricking that system into thinking that it is running very lean. So the bike responds to that system saying, okay, no, here's what we're going to do, we're going to give it a little bit more fuel. In that process, what happens is a lot of people say that the Fuel X has given them performance gains, but I would say not so much, because I'll tell you what I felt was the motorcycle when it was running the Fuel X Pro Plus. The only main thing is the throttle lag and jerkiness very low down the RPM. Right. So the throttle lag and the jerkiness low down the RPM was resolved issues. I could take a higher gear through a speed breaker, and that was doing that kind of job. But since it was marketed as a fuel corrector as well as a performance device, I wanted to check it out. So we later decided, okay, let's do this. Since we were already neck deep into the Racedynamics concept, we decided to take it one step forward with the Powertronics as well as the quick shifter from Racedynamics. So we got the Powertronics and the quick shifter from Racedynamics about 7-8 months back, and running the whole setup together. We had the Fuel X, we had the Powertronics, as well as we had the quick shifter installed on the motorcycle. We did a lot of research and development. I could not feel a lot of power gains, so I decided to call up Racedynamics. We were like, okay, I'm not very happy with this setup. What can you suggest me? So they told me, what you can do is you can come down to our place at Kormangla. We'll put it on the dyno, we will tune it a little bit more. So here's what happened. We spent another 8,500 bucks to put this bike on the dyno to see how much it would make. So on stock baseline with all the hardware mods, according to Racedynamics dyno, we made close to 43 wheel horsepower, and after the tune on the Powertronic, we made close to 49 wheel horsepower with almost I think 55 Newton meters of torque. And yeah, I'll show you a graph right now. That is how my graph looked post my Racedynamics tune installation. But later what happened is I was not very satisfied with the tune setup because I saw how the tuning was done, and the tuning was not in my favor, whereas the tuning was done such that my whack open throttle, that is my full throttle pull, was the only thing that they had configured. Apart from that, they had not touched anything into the parameters. Also keep in mind, I am just comparing ECU remaps with my Powertronic. Why? Because the Powertronic is a plug-and-play device that is controlling all the system. Like how I explained you the concept of the Fuel X, the Powertronic does exactly the same thing. It tricks the system here and there to make it give one data as well as take one data. So there's a software which is called RTune, in which you can configure your Powertronic. If you're interested, I'll leave a link below so you can check it out. But that is how the scenario is. I was not very happy with this. I was not getting very good fuel economy. I was getting close to the single digit numbers, close to 10. The maximum it would go up to 11, and in the city it would give me 8 to 9, which is highly disappointing. So I went to the company who actually suggested me to run the EC remap for the first time. These were again Monkey Autocraft. I'm running their stage 1 M-tuned package right now. So this is nothing but it's an AFR fixture map. So we have removed the Powertronic as well as the Fuel X. And Sump at Monkey Autocrafts did me the stage 1 tune, which was an AFR fix, as well as he gave me a higher red line of close to 600 RPM more to play with. So Sump at Monkey, he gave me all of that I wanted. So I am currently still running this, even though I know that I can push more power. I am fairly very happy with this because this was again just a phase 1 build that we did on this motorcycle, and a phase 2 build is coming really soon. We might be taking off a few parts more. We might be adding some new parts here and there. But here's what I will tell you based on my review. The Interceptor 650 and the classic, the GT 650 are a very capable platform machine. These are not power motors. Okay, you have seen bikes such as the Triumph Speed 400 and the RC390 for that fact. Those motorcycles make their peak power on the highest RPM. Those are the bikes that are meant to be pushed. This motorcycle is not that, but even though it is very competitive compared to that segment, what I would really suggest you is that I would, if I had to do anything, differently, I would tell you to avoid getting any of the Racedynamics parts because of its reliability. If you have seen my recent monsoon ride video that we went towards Kudiramukha Mangalore side, you would definitely understand what I'm talking about, because the bike would not even start and it straight up stranded me between nowhere. So we are spending our day 3 in Mangaluru, and we are at Royal Enfield Service Center. You can see my motorcycle right there. Okay, so what happened right now is we went through a full-on Powertronic failure. So this Powertronic was dead, it is not working well, and this had to happen right when we were in Mangalore. So that is what is happening right now. We have taken the Powertronic out of the motorcycle and yeah, Racedynamics parts. So that was a little annoying, that was a little depressing because the trip was going on very well. We did 1,300 kilometers. You do check out that whole highlight if you get the time. And happening, so I decided to call up Shaman from Monkey. He told me just rip the whole thing out because those parts are very fragile to environments such as rain. Even though the Racedynamics crew was very helpful, they wanted to help in any ways possible, but the fact that the bike could leave me stranded over there was always very hurtful, and I really didn't want to risk anything apart from that. So my whole concept was, again, the AC remap, in my opinion, is the better option because it allows you to customize based on your riding style, whereas the Racedynamics is completely meant for only wide open throttle. You are just changing 4 to 5 parameters on the Powertronic, whereas close to 12 to 13 parameters on an AC remap, and that is a big number when you're comparing a motorcycle that is almost sensorless. And yeah, that is going to sum up my tuning story of the thing. I would suggest you to go to any tuner who is going to help you out tune the motorcycle based on your requirements. Is completely the better choice compared to Racedynamics products, according to what I say. Okay, let us last talk about the motorcycle's oil that we have been using. So when I got the motorcycle, we have tested out 3 different oil setup on this motorcycle. The first one was the oil that the Royal Enfield provides. The oil that Royal Enfield provides is like a mineral oil, that is a genuine oil that Royal Enfield provides for all of its motorcycles. Let it be the Hunter, let it be the GTs, the Super Meteors, anything, they run a very specific oil. This bike takes about 3.2 liters of oil because, again, it's an oil-cooled motor. It doesn't have a coolant running in the system. It's an oil-cooled motor. So what I did after my first time using that oil was I decided to shift to Moto. I started using a 10W50 Moto oil, and that's a reddish color oil. It's like the XP95 color that you would have seen. It's a dark red color oil, and it's, according to me, it is a lot better compared to Royal Enfield's mineral oil. But on the second time of me breaking in the motorcycle after my top half was redone, Monkey Autograph, Shamant and Arun sir from Monkey Autograph, they decided to use a different kind of oil that is a fully synthetic oil from this company called Pakilo. So Pakilo oil, this is the MKB racing oil that is currently in the motorcycle. We have run this for the past 6,000 kilometers after the break-in, and the oil is phenomenally run really good because I have taken it very hard on different terrains, and the burn rate of this oil is actually pretty low that compared to Motul and other brands, and it is a very good oil. I mean, the gear shifts are smooth, the bike feels smooth, it runs smooth and all of that sort. So I really enjoy this oil, and I'm going to stick to this oil for a while. There are other brands such as Motorex that I've heard really good on high compression motors, but I've never tried it on this motorcycle. I don't have a say into it. So that is my story with the oil. So anything I would recommend is BMC open air filter, a slip-on, and just good oil. You just run that, and probably the 80 spark plugs. And stock tune also, it's really good. If you really want to get an EC remap, talk to a tuner, explain to what you are looking at on your motorcycle, and that should be your way to go. So let me sum up this year's 2024 to 2025's bike ownership. I'm extremely happy. I mean, this year has passed way too fast compared to what any other years passed through. It was a blast. It was a total blast owning this motorcycle. I just had like absolute fun. We took it to different terrains. We took it to the beach. We took it to cities. We took it to metropolitan cities. We took it to the beach. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, so let me tell you this. The build is not over. This was only the phase 1 that I had planned for this motorcycle. The phase 2 is still pending. I'll give you a little bit of insights. We're going to try and push a little bit more power out of this motorcycle. We are planning for a 2-in-1. So we'll have a little bit more power gains on that. We're also planning for springs from way to speed, both front and back. Both are progressive springs. We'll be trying for that. And we will also be trying for a stage 2 full-blown EC remap. Apart from that, there is one really good part that I was considering of getting. It is the SNS high lift cam setup. So this is a high lift cam. If you really don't know what a high lift cam is, just search it out on the internet. But in short, it increases the amount of inlet and outlet of the exhaust valves and the intake valves, allowing a cleaner combustion to make good power. I have seen motorcycles push good torque with that setup. Following to this, I will be replacing my weighted speed air filter with a BNC. And finally, there's one last sauce in the white sauce pasta that I would like to conclude by saying this might be going full carbon fiber. We'll start with this. Okay, thank you for watching this video. It was a blast experiencing the motorcycle with you and sharing it with you guys. If you have any doubts, be sure to reach out to me on Instagram. It is itz_zeem. It's Zeem on Instagram. Be sure to like, share and subscribe to this video and keep watching. Cheers.